morning, and welcome to the Dairy Council of California's virtual field trip. Today, you're going to be hearing from our mobile dairy classroom instructor, Daniela, who's on a dairy farm in the Central Valley. You will also hear from dairy farmer Tyler, who is in the Central Valley as well. You're going to be learning all about milk and dairy, as well as the 5 food groups. Today's presentation will be in webinar format. That means you're only going to be able to see and hear those of us that are presenting to you. But we do want to hear your questions. So if you have questions, please place them in the Q&A section in the bottom of the screen or the chat section. And we will ask Daniela some of them at the end of the presentation. We're going to start now and send it to Daniela. Good morning, Daniela.
Good morning, everyone. Give me 1 second. All righty, how's everyone doing? Good morning, Heather. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming here to our virtual field trip. My name is Daniela Martinez, and I am one of 6 different mobile dairy classrooms that travel with our mobile dairy classrooms to different parts of California, where we go ahead and teach students on the farm to school program. Now, we're going to go ahead and show you, as you guys can see here on your screen, you'll go ahead and see our mobile dairy classroom picture, and we'll go ahead and go to different schools and on a day-to-day basis. But if you guys would like to know a little bit more about it, you guys can go to healthyeating.org/mobile dairy classroom, as well as if you guys want to sign up for more virtual field trips, you can go ahead and go to our website as well. So I'm here at Rochelle's Dairy, where we have lots of dairy cows, as you guys can see all behind me. They are very curious of what we are, so you guys can go ahead and wave hi from them from your screen. But this is Rochelle's Jersey, where we're at. Now, here at Rochelle's Jersey, right behind me, you'll go ahead and see roughly around 600 cows. You'll see 600 cows, but all around this whole dairy, we have roughly around 2,000 cows. Now, you might say, what? I thought you were going to show me a black and white one. Well, they're all different types of breeds, colors, shapes, and sizes. But the one that we have here, they're called Jerseys. Hence why it's called Rochelle's Jersey. Now, we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the dairy breeds and also how we go ahead and feed them, how we take care of them, a little bit how milk gets available to you guys. And not only that, but we're also going to see our milking parlor and how the milk gets for you guys, how we can include it onto our daily lifestyle. And as you guys can see right there on your screen, we have our 5 most popular breeds here in California. Now, on the very top, we'll go ahead and see our black and white ones. Now, those black and white ones, their dairy breed is called a Holstein. Now, they are the #1 most popular dairy breed here in California. Now, the reason why they're the #1 most popular dairy breed here in California is because on average, they're able to produce 10 gallons of milk every day, which roughly is around 7 to 10 gallons. Now, you might also ask, how do we know? How do we milk them? Well, we do have a milking process. And not only that, they do go ahead and be the largest cows. They're the largest cows that we've had here. Now, our second most popular breed in California is our Jerseys. Our Jerseys are the second most popular dairy breeds here in California. And that is because on average, they're able to produce 4 to 6 gallons of milk every single day for 10 months. Wow. You might say that's a lot of milk. But it might be a little bit less compared to our Holsteins. But our Jerseys are the second most popular breed because their milk is very rich. Very rich and has a lot of cream inside the milk. Then we'll go ahead and have our Guernseys. Then we'll have our Ayrshires. And lastly, we'll go ahead and have our Brown Swiss. Our Brown Swiss is one of our oldest dairy breeds. But you may ask, where do all of these cows come from? Well, all of these cows, and as you can tell by the names, they're very different. They all came from Europe. And from Europe, they traveled by boat, and then they went ahead and came here to America. Now, they went ahead and go to America. They went around all across California and all the U.S. Now, let's go ahead and let me see. I see a couple comments that it's hard to hear. Can you guys hear me a little bit better? Let me see if I go ahead and move it just a little bit more. All righty. And those are our dairy breeds. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for letting me know. That way you guys are able to hear. All righty. So as we go ahead and go back, we talked about our dairy breeds, and the ones that we have here are our jerseys. But how do we know where the jersey's head is, what's their body type? How do we know? Well, as you can go ahead and see, we'll go ahead and see a picture of our Holstein right there. That will be our model for this example. Now down below, we'll go ahead and start from the very end and working our way all the way to the top. Right there, you go ahead and see her tail, where it's very fluffy, but her tail is actually used as a fly swatter, where she will go ahead and move it around, scaring the bugs away, also in the flies, and also to keep herself nice and cool. That is how she uses her tail. Now, in the middle, you'll go ahead and see a big udder. Now, is her udder, where she stores milk and she also makes milk. Now, her udder has four quarters, and each quarter has one teat. And through each teat, that is how the milk goes ahead and comes out. Now, in the back, you'll also see her legs, and then you'll go ahead and also see her hooves. Now, she has a total of 16 toes. She has 16 toes. On each leg, she has two that will go ahead and split in the middle, and she has two that will dangle in the back, which are called her tooth claws. Now, those are the ones who use it, but she only typically uses eight. Those other two that hang in the back, which are the other eight, she doesn't use at all. Those are just there for accessories. But as we go ahead and move up, you'll go ahead and see her hip. Now, she has a hip bone on each side. That will go ahead and stick out just a little bit, but that's just the genetics, my friends. But her hip bone goes ahead and helps her with her back legs and also the movement of her body. Now, in the middle, you will go ahead and see her ribs. She has 13 ribs on both sides, which is a total of 26 ribs. Now, everything inside, she will go ahead and protect with her ribs, such as her stomach, also her heart, her lungs, all sorts of different stuff. They'll go ahead and protect inside her belly. Now, you'll go ahead and see her shoulders. Now, her shoulder will go ahead and help support her front legs. Now, her shoulders help support her front legs. What does our shoulders help support? Well, our shoulders help support our arms. Quite similar, a little bit different. Now, you'll go ahead and see her neck, and her neck helps support her head. Now, let's go ahead and take a little bit closer look at her head. We're going to go ahead and move over here, and we're going to go ahead and see a couple other ladies looking here. And there we go. We'll go ahead and go into her head. Now, as you can go ahead and see, you'll see a couple of the heads. Now, on the very top, let's go ahead and use this one. She's looking more at me. So on top, you'll see a little poof. And that little poof is called her poll. Poll. Now, right here, you will go ahead and then see her two large ears. Now, her two large ears are able to move around to any direction, depending on what she's listening to. Not only that, but she has something very cool inside her ear. And you might ask, what is that? Does she, is there any that? What color is it? Well, we'll have all different colors. And as you guys can see, these little orange things in there, those are called ear tags. Now, her ear tags are her identification number. Now, that is how we know and tell apart our cows that we have here. Now, as we go ahead and see her ears, you will see that there are different numbers. They'll all have the different numbers that tell us who they are. We have a database that where we go ahead and put those numbers, it will tell us when they were born, how old they are, what pen they are in. Also, they'll tell us how much food we eat, and that's much more stuff that we'll go ahead and log into our system. And those are her ear tags. Then you'll go ahead and see her ears, where her ears are slightly to the side. Now she can see roughly around 270 degrees, which is roughly around everything around the body. But they cannot see anything directly in front of them or anything directly behind them. That is their blind spot. So now you might ask, if they can't see anything directly in front of them, then how are they able to walk? Well, they actually walk moving their head side to side, and that's how they're able to see what's in front of them. Now, then you go ahead and see her nose, where her nose has two large nostrils. Her two large nostrils will go ahead and help smell everything around her, such as her environment, also smell her food, all sorts of cool stuff. She'll go ahead and use her nose to smell a lot of stuff. Then we'll go ahead and go to her mouth. Her mouth is very large. Now, in her mouth, she has a very strong muscle. And a strong, very large muscle is her tongue. Now, if you guys want to see how long her tongue is, you have to go ahead and raise your left hand. So go ahead and raise your left hand just like this. And then from the tip of your middle finger all the way down to your armpit is how long your tongue is. It can be 12 to 18 inches, sometimes even 3 feet. It is a very strong muscle that they use to extend out, lift their food, and bring it to the mouth. They may not have hands like us, my friend, but they sure do have a strong muscle like their tongue to lift their food and bring it to the mouth. That is how they grab their food. Now, here's the question for you. You can call this the chat and type in what she likes for food. And she puts it into mouth. What would she use to chew the food? I gotta give you a couple seconds, my friends, and let's see those answers. I see now you use saliva, you use her teeth. Excellent. So I see lots of different answers, and those answers are correct. She will use her mouth. She will use her saliva to break down that food, but most importantly, she will use her teeth to chew the food. She has a total of 32 teeth. Now you might say, wow, that is a lot of teeth. Well, we as humans also have 32 teeth. Now you might have a little bit less if you take out your wisdom teeth, but eventually you have 32 teeth. I mean, I apologize, my friends. You might have a little bit less if you take out your wisdom teeth, but as you guys are still growing, you guys will eventually have 32 teeth. Now, our cows have them a little bit structured, a little bit different. And she has 24 molars on the top and bottom of her jaw in the back, which are called molars. She has 8 incisors down below on her lower jaw, and she does not have any top front teeth. She is missing top front teeth, which is called a dental path. So now you might be asking, then how did she chew her food if she has no top front teeth? Well, she actually chews her food with her back molar, her back teeth, and she chews her food side to side. She chews her food side to side. And as you guys can probably see, you will see a couple of them that are chewing their food side to side. And that's how they break down the food. But now let's go ahead and look at what she is eating. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple pieces of her food down below, and then I'll go ahead and bring it up to you guys. Now, in here, we see a couple of hay. Hay in here. We'll see a little pieces of corn. You guys know that they eat corn as well. And then have a little bit of nut meal, another nut, and then what is this? This will be from an almond. This is from an almond. Did you guys know they can eat the almond pole as well? Not only that, they'll go ahead and eat all different types of stuff in here as well as vitamins and minerals as well in here. But how? How is that possible? Well, our cows have a special diet that we have a nutrition that goes ahead and makes them. And also, they are also known as upcyclers. They're known as upcyclers because they can go ahead and use byproducts that we cannot digest, but they can. But to know a little bit more about this, we're going to go ahead and go to our friend Charlie's farm, where he will be able to go ahead and explain that to us, and he'll show you also his favorite pens as well. So let's go ahead and go to our friend Tyler's farm, and he will go ahead and tell us all about what they eat and also his favorite pen.
Right now, I am in one of my favorite pens, and I think you might be able to see why. This is what we call a heifer pen. A heifer is a cow that's, let's just say, not as much of an adult as another animal, right? She's more of a teenager. This girl right here, in human years, probably about mid-20s, right? Cows do not age like we do. Some people may think 2 years old is pretty young for an animal, but in all actuality, 2 years old, they're already almost an adult. These animals right here, they're silly, they're goofy. That's why we as dairy producers have to keep an eye on things at all times. You hear about us being up early in the morning or staying up late. Well, it's because these animals really don't know what to do. They don't know how to take care of themselves a lot of the times. And especially since they're here, we have to make sure that their water is clean, their beds are fluffed, their air conditioning is running. Yeah, I said it. They have beds, they have air conditioning. The cows, the adults, the milk cows, they have beds. Now, it's not like our beds. They're really fluffy and they're made out of recycled material. Sometimes they're even made out of water beds, little rubber, but they love it. We used recycled material for their beds, and we actually go through and groom their beds, make sure they're absolutely clean, fluffed up and nice for them every single day. I said air conditioning also. They have fans, they have misters, they have soakers, they have all this equipment that's ran on thermostats, so they turn on when it gets hot. They turn on automatically. No matter if I'm feeling hot or not, these girls are well taken care of. I don't know about you, but I don't have a doctor come see me every week. These girls do. Every single week, we have a veterinarian out here on the farm that takes a look at our animals, that makes sure everybody is healthy, everybody's happy, and everything is going according to plan. And if there happens to be anything that needs to be taken a look at, we have a professional here all the time. I bet you knew that cows eat food, because that's just dumb. Everybody eats food. But did you know how many things cows actually eat? I would hazard a guess that you knew that cows ate what's behind me. That's alfalfa. We know it's alfalfa. You know it's alfalfa. It's kind of grassy, kind of stammy. Did you know not all alfalfa is made the same? You know they have different nutrient values? See, this alfalfa here, this is for milk cows. This is specifically grown for milk cows, so they can produce the most amount of milk because they have the best nutrition. We've got almond hulls. Almond hulls are a byproduct. We feed a ton of byproducts. Now, what is a byproduct? A byproduct is what's left over after you make a different unintended product. So, this one here, almond hulls, this is what you have when you're done eating your shelled almonds. You like almonds? Cows do too, but they like what's covering the almonds. They like the shells, they like the holes, the soft part. This is one ingredient to an entire recipe. So let's go see the rest of this recipe. Now, we know this is a byproduct of almonds. That's pretty simple. Up to look like little tiny pieces, almost like a powder. Super high in protein, great fiber. The cows love it. The nutritionist definitely helps us feed it because it's good for them. And what are we doing? We're recycling. We're using something that was previously going to go to maybe a dump, and the cows are eating it, enjoying it. It helps them nutritionally, and it makes milk. This orange pile looks kind of silly. It looks kind of fluffy, maybe gushy, but it smells amazing. Now, take a couple seconds and look at it and think about what it might be. Right now, I can see some orange balls in there, maybe some yellow. That's citrus pulp. That's what's left over after we juice them to make popsicles, orange juice. That's what's left over. We wouldn't want to eat that, but I'll tell you right now, it makes the lane smell amazing. That feed bunk smells like oranges and lemons and limes all the time. And the cows love the smell and love the taste. Again, they're built differently than us. They can eat this stuff and enjoy it immensely. All the things that we feed to our cows, the cows love. We don't want to feed them something they don't. But that's the amazing part. We can take all these things that you and I will not eat, because let's face it, nobody wants to eat an orange peel, but they will, and they'll turn it into some amazing, amazing products. So, we talked about all the different products that we used, or ingredients, we'll say. We've got all those crunchy ingredients, we got some soft ingredients. How do we mix it together? Well, as you can see behind me, we've got a big spoon. A big spoon. This thing will pick up all the feed that we need, and we'll take it back over here, and we will dump it in this giant mixer. You got a mixer at home. Your parents have a mixer at home. This one's just ginormous. This mixer by itself can hold over 20,000 pounds of feed. Now, we're just not grabbing feed all willy-nilly all over the place and just putting whatever we want in there. No way. See, right up behind me, you've got what we call an ingredient list. It tells us exactly what we need to feed and when. You see, there's a specific order, there's certain amounts of feed, and there's different feeds. And we need to make sure that every animal, no matter what age they are, gets fed exactly what they need. Not exactly what we may want to feed them or what's available, but what they need and what they want. Because we are here to serve them, It's a great relationship that we have with our nutritionists and with our cows to make sure that we can make sure they are taken care of properly. One more thing that you probably didn't see yet and you didn't know. This big bag here, these are multivitamins. I take a multivitamin. Vitamins are incredibly important for you too, just the same as a cow. So we make sure that all the food that they get are tested. We make sure a nutritionist is out here every single week to make sure all the food is up to spec, to make sure it is of highest quality that we can feed them. And we make sure that when we do feed these cows that we use products that we can recycle. We use things that would normally go to the trash and we turn them into milk by feeding the cows with them. You are on our farm here today. However, our farm is much similar to all the other dairies here in California. You see happy cows here, there's happy cows at other dairies. You see clean milk on the shelves, that came from dairies just like us, doing a ton of work to make sure that when you see milk on the shelf or cheese on the shelves, or you pull that ice cream out of the freezer, it is as clean and as healthy and as safe as humanly possible. Because not only do we do the checks here, but we also have them checked at the creameries and the manufacturers, and they're constantly checked to make sure that it is safe, it is healthy.
Alrighty, my friends. Wasn't that awesome? Kind of like everything that we described, and I was telling you, we went in and we got into a deeper conversation with you guys and how it was explained and why we do the things that we do. So now let's go ahead. How would they be able to eat it? How does their stomach work? How does the digestive system work to go ahead and process that food? Well, they have one stomach with 4 different compartments. In those 4 different compartments, the body will go ahead and digest the food. So we're going to go ahead and watch a video because I know it's a little hard to just to see in our heads and how that will go ahead and work. So we do have a lovely video that we're going to go ahead and show you guys on how that food will go ahead and be processed. And then I'll go ahead and break it down for you guys to go ahead and see it as well. I think we're having a little bit of technical difficulty. Heather, are you there?
And it travels into a cow begins by chewing her food. She swallows and it travels into the first 2 compartments. These are the rumen and reticulum. This is a big water tank. The food moves from side to side and it gets soft. Now, the cow burps up the food, she regurgitates and chews it for a second time. We call this chewing her cud. This enables the cow to digest foods that people can't eat, like hay and cottonseed hulls. She now swallows her cud, and these smaller pieces move to the 3rd and 4th compartment, the omasum and the abomasum. This special digestive process allows cows to produce delicious and naturally nutritious milk.
Alrighty, let me go ahead and start by saying fun. I want to go ahead and take a little moment because I keep on getting a little bit of messages, and I do apologize, my friends. The internet out here is not the best, but can you guys hear me now? If I get closer to the screen, just give me a little couple of seconds. Can anybody give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me? A little bit better? Okay, a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead and go a little closer. I'm gonna go ahead and try to be right here on the side. I'll go ahead and leave it there and I'll just kind of be closer to the speaker over here, just because that way you guys can hear me a little bit better. So as you guys were able to hear or saw the video, we were able to digest the food in the 4 different compartments. In the 4 different compartments, they'll go ahead and break down their food, where they'll go ahead and be able to digest their food. Now, we did say that it was going to go to milk, but before we can go ahead and make milk, they have to go through a process. In the process is to have a baby. And the cool way to remember that is that mammal mothers make milk. In order for them to make milk, they must have a baby. Now, as you guys can go ahead and see there, when they are born and when the cows do have a baby, and then when they're born and they are grown, they are called heifers. Now, a heifer calf. As you guys can see right there, you'll see a little Holstein that will go ahead and do their perk up. She's a couple of weeks old. She's smelling everything, wide awake. She's happy and all sorts of cool stuff. And she is looking alive and lively and all cool. Now, I apologize, my friends. I'm trying to see the screens and everything. Now, and down below, you will go see a little bull calf, which is called when they're born and they are born. Now, the bull calf is a couple of hours old, and you can see it's already standing up. It's smelling all the cool stuff in the world, and lots of good stuff. Now, when they're at the age one, they are fully grown. Then, at the age 2 or 3, they're able to go ahead and use to do. Now, when they do have a baby, they'll go ahead and become a cow. So there are heifers that when they're 2 or 3, they'll go ahead and have a baby, and they are then called cows. Now, when you do have a baby, they will then be able to produce milk for 10 months. And for those 10 months, they are known as a stressed cow, meaning they're able to produce milk. Then, at there's other 2 months of the year, he is known as a grand fast. If he will not produce any milk, he's going to go ahead and relax, getting ready for the next cycle. Now, here today, most of the cows that we have here, and that you saw at the very beginning of the producers, those are all fresh cows that are producing milk. So we do need to go ahead and milk them. Well, we can do our hand milking technique, or we can have advanced through technology. Since the late 1800s, we advanced the technology, engineering, and we still continue to develop our industry. And we are now using our milking parlors in our cows. Now, before they go ahead and get milk in the milking parlor, they have to go through a step. And as you guys can see right behind me, you'll go ahead and see a little alleyway right here along the side. Now, there's an alleyway for each pen up here that will go ahead and walk. I'll show you the edit right here. They'll go ahead and walk over here, and then they'll go ahead and walk over here, and they'll go ahead and go to a freestyle pen, or almost like an alley, a pathway that they're able to go ahead and walk. And then over here, you'll go ahead and see. Over here, you'll go ahead and see how they'll go ahead and now enter the sprinkler pen. And as you guys can see right behind me, you'll go ahead and see the sprinkler pen right there. Well, in the sprinkler pen, it's almost like a mini car wash where cows will go ahead and get washed on the bottom half of their body, where they'll go ahead and get a little soap, reducing all the little mud and also any dirt that they may have, and especially cleaning that butter. Then from there, they'll go ahead and walk into the milking parlor, and in the milking parlor, they'll go ahead and be assisted by our workers, where they'll go ahead and help our dairy cows go ahead and enter, and they'll go ahead and place that milking block. And there's all different types of milking parlors. The one that we have here today, it is actually called a rotary milking parlor. And as you guys can see right behind me, we have a couple of dairy cows right now getting milk. And that is where they go ahead and go. Now, I'll go ahead and get a little closer this here. We'll go ahead and see our milking parlor. This is a rotary milking parlor. And as you can see, it is rotating like a mini circle, just like this, almost like a fairy bell. Now, here, they'll go ahead and get milk. And as you guys can hear, it is very quiet. Now, like I was telling you guys, we'll have some workers walking around and helping assist our cows, making sure everything is correct. We'll have a clean island, we're sanitizing it, and then we're gonna go ahead and walk through. And as the milking pot is placed onto the other, it's gonna go ahead and stay nice and quiet here to get milk. And then once we go ahead and get done doing milk, they're gonna go ahead and walk out. As you can go ahead and see, one of our cows is gonna go ahead and walk out, and then they're gonna go ahead and go back to the pen, where they're gonna go ahead and have food, they're gonna have water, they're gonna have a bed. Like I see you heard Tyler, they have beds too, and also chat with their other friends as well. You know, and then what happens to the milk? Well, with that milk, they're gonna go ahead and go down a long line. As you guys can see right here, this is a milk line. And right there on the milk line, the milk is going to go ahead and go down to a big clean tank, or often known as a bulk tank, that you will go ahead and see on your screen. Now, that is a big bulk tank. Now, they all come in different shapes, sizes, depending on how large the dairy is. Now, right there, you will see the tank that can hold roughly around 2,700 gallons. Now, here, that dairy farm, it's much bigger because we have a lot more cows that we're milking. So, like I said, it all depends on the size that the farm is. Now, from there, when the milk goes into the big cooling tank, it's going to get cooled down for 38 degrees. Now, the reason why the milk is getting cooled down for 38 degrees is because we want to contain the milk to be fresh. But not only that, but our cows are warm-blooded animals. Their regular temperature is 101 degrees, meaning when the milk is coming out, it is coming out about 100 to 95 degrees. So the milk has to be cooled down. Then from there, they're going to go ahead and pick up the milk once the milk has been cooled down, and then pick it up by a big trailer, as you guys can see right there on the screen. And right there, they're going to go ahead and pick up the milk. And in that trailer, it is very cool because it has a thermostat, making sure the milk is still staying nice and cool. Then it's going to go ahead and go to a processing plant or auction and creamery, where they're going to go ahead and process the milk. Now we're going to watch a small little video where that will go ahead and break down how it's going to go ahead and process the milk and then how the milk gets available to us. So now let's go ahead and watch a small little video on how, what are the processes that have to happen for a milk to get processed.
At the processing plant, milk is pasteurized
pasteurizada,
and homogenized.
homogeneizada.
The pasteurization process heats the milk to 160 degrees for 16 seconds to keep our milk safe. The milk you drink at school is always pasteurized. At the processing plant, milk is also homogenized. This means milk is forced through small holes to break it into smaller particles. If milk is not homogenized, the cream will separate out and float to the top.
Wow, it has to get pasteurized and homogeneous. And then from there, my friends, they'll go ahead and put them into bottles, containers, they'll go ahead and put them in cartons, bags, and then they'll go ahead and be able to send it out. They're going to go ahead and bring it to our schools, they're going to bring it to the grocery stores, they're going to go ahead and bring it to restaurants, and just to say, in just 2 days, that's how milk gets available to us. Now, why are we talking about dairy? Well, dairy actually belongs in our five foods. So we encourage all of you guys to have on a day-to-day basis, depending on your guys' culture, cuisine, dietary restrictions, allergies, and affordability. Dairy actually has a lot of nutrients for all of us. And 1 cup of milk, it has 13 essential nutrients. Now, in dairy, we'll go ahead and have our milk, cheese, and yogurt that you guys can have on a day-to-day basis. Not only does it have 13 essential nutrients, but it's very high in calcium, which will go ahead and help us like teeth and also all the bones for the body. Then we'll go ahead and have our vegetables. For our vegetables, we'll go ahead and have healthy skin and also for our eyes. There's all different types of vegetables, my friends, depending on what you like. Maybe you're not like one vegetable, but there's a lot more other vegetables that you can probably try out. Then we'll go ahead and have your fruit. Or your fruits will go ahead and have your healing, also lots of vitamin C, vitamins, minerals as well, like bananas, strawberries, grapes. Yeah, dragon fruit, blueberries, dragon fruit as well. It's all different types of fruit that you can go ahead and try out as well. Then we'll have our grains, which we'll go ahead and have bread, cereal, pasta. It gives us lots of carbohydrates, to give us long-lasting energy to go about our day. And then lastly, we'll go ahead and have protein. You can have plant-based protein or also animal source protein like meat, beans, nuts, all different types of protein. And that will go ahead and help us with our muscles, helping us with our muscles and growing very, very well. Now, all of this we want you guys to incorporate on a daily basis. That way you guys are feeling nice and great, learning all the cool stuff you have at school. But not only that, but also staying nice and active by exercising daily for at least 1 hour a day. You guys can go ahead and go walking, you guys can go running, doing that part something. Or you might live on a farm. Maybe you would do some gardening. There's all different types of stuff that you can go ahead and do. It just depends on what you want. Now, at the end of the presentation, my friends, we're going to go ahead and now be able to open it to questions and go ahead and go a little bit of review. I know we got a little bit of a bad service, and maybe you didn't hear me correctly, and I can go ahead and re-explain any area that you guys would like. I can more happy to do so. So I'm going to go ahead and take it back to Heather, and Heather will go ahead and tell me all of this different.
Thank you so much, Daniela. I have a few questions. Why do cows regurgitate their food?
Okay. So our cows are able to regurgitate the food because they have a ruminant stomach. Now, ruminant animals are able to burp up their food. They're able to burp up their food and chew it for the second time, which means when they regurgitate the food, they're going to go ahead and break it down. They're breaking it down and chewing it for 80 to 100 times. Then when they go ahead and chew it for the 80 to 100 times, they go ahead and swallow it and then entering the third and fourth compartment. Now, not only can our cows or cattle do this, we also have different animals such as sheep, we have goats, we have elk, we have buffalo. There's all different types of animals that are also able to regurgitate their food and breaking it down and processing their food because of the stomach that they have.
Okay, what do cows drink?
What do cows drink? That is a great question. So our cows will actually drink water. Roughly on a day-to-day basis, they will eat about 100 pounds of food and water every single day. Now, that food will go ahead and vary, and that water will go ahead and vary on their body, and depending how much water they will take and how much they will eat on their own. But like you saw in Tyler's video, it is calculated to ensure all the cows have the correct amount of food and also water those available to them at all times as well.
There's another question. Is there a specific farm for each cow breed?
Great question. So the answer is no, but it also can be yes. So it depends. So depending on where the milk is going to go ahead and be used for, there can be barns that will go ahead and just have jerseys. They'll have barns that will go ahead and use that higher quality milk for certain dairy products, or we have some that will go ahead and blend them, or they'll have maybe Holsteins and they'll also have jerseys where they'll go ahead and be able to use that higher cream to the milk, and that way you can go ahead and mix the milk together and have a more nutritious milk as well. But again, it just depends on what the dairy product or the milk that we're trying to make. They all go ahead and be different. Great question.
Besides the regular feed, are there any special treats that they eat?
That is a great question. So yes, so depending on the farm and what they have available, the farms that are around them, they will get some special treats. Like you mentioned, we had an almond hole. So here in California, we grow lots of almonds. So we will have almond holes for them to go ahead and have. But let's say we're closer to farms that have pumpkins, or we have farms that have watermelon, or throughout different seasons of the year, we'll go ahead and have all different types of fruits and vegetables that will go ahead and be able to come to their farms. And those are kind of like treats because, we go ahead and grow all different types of fruits and vegetables throughout the year. So like in the fall, they'll have pumpkins. In the summer, they'll have some strawberries. They'll go ahead and have watermelon. And they'll go ahead in the winter, they'll go ahead and have some broccoli, celery. It all just depends. They'll go ahead and have different types of treats that will be brought to them depending on what's available around them.
What happens when a cow gets sick?
What happens to when a cow gets sick? That is a great question. So when our cows get sick, we will go ahead and notice it before they actually get diagnosed. So just we have veterinarians come out on a day-to-day basis, but we'll go ahead and get our cows and we'll go ahead and cart them to the side and put them into our closer pen. We'll go and put them in a special pen where we'll go ahead and take more quality care for them and looking at them more 24 hours. We'll go ahead and make sure they have enough food, they have water. We'll also call the veterinarian so that way he is closer to looking at her and making sure that she's the first stop that she takes care of and also looks at her. And then we'll go ahead and make sure we'll heal her back to good health. And then she'll go ahead and go back to her regular pen. And then she goes ahead and lives a happy life.
How long do cows sleep?
How long do cows sleep? So it varies. Sometimes they can sleep a lot one day, another day they can sleep a little bit less. But roughly around, they can sleep around 8 hours a day. It's kind of like us. They can either sleep standing up or they can also lay down. It just depends on what you prefer. Yes, you heard me. They'll stand, they sleep standing up. They'll go ahead and lock their knees and just lower their head and then just close your eyes. And sometimes they'll fall asleep. When we said that word regurgitate, they'll go ahead and fall asleep while they regurgitate their food as well. So, yep.
All right. How many years do cows live?
So it depends on their shape and size and how well they take care of the body and how well we take care of the body. So our cows can live roughly around 12 to 15 years. And like I said, there are animals, they can do wear and tear to their own body as well. But usually around 12 to 15 years. Great question.
Okay. Let's see, maybe one more. How or let's see what like question is when what are the cow's predators?
What was that?
What are the cow's predators?
What are the cow's predators? That is a great question. So depending on location you're at in California, again, here in California, our top commodity is milk. So we do have a lot of cows here in California. So depending on the area that they're at, we will have some coyotes sometimes. They'll go ahead and have mainly just coyotes, I guess you would say here, depending because there's a lot of area that is closed enclosed and making sure that we would look after them. And we always are running 24 hours. We're milking 24 hours and we're making sure that all of our cows are being taken care of. So we got to make sure that we avoid the predators. But depending on where they're at, if you go ahead and have predators, but I would say just coyotes, but there might be other ones depending on where you're at. But great question.
Thank you so much, Daniela. Now I would like to thank you for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed our virtual Farm to You field trip. Once this webinar ends, a survey will pop up, and we value your feedback and would love to know how we are doing and appreciate the time to take the survey. And teachers, if you would like to learn more about our resources, you can visit our website at healthyeating.org. And you can also join our initiative, Let's Eat Healthy, to support children and families to build healthier communities. Thank you for joining, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Bye. Thank you.